All right, so not revenue. It's an emergency. Okay. Oh, not what I wanted. Sorry. Hold on. Just covered that. There we go. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to hit today is on cost of production. Okay, so cost of production, there were costs associated with producing our airplanes. Okay, so remember I gave you the money and you had to pay for things, right? There was a reason for that. Right? In real life, what you have happening is in real life you have to pay for things, and you can categorize costs into 4 categories. Okay? So the first category of costs are what we call fixed costs. Fixed costs are going to be paid no matter how much you are producing. You have to pay fixed costs. Okay? When you start your business, these are going to be the costs associated with just getting the business started. So things like getting a building, paying for the rent, being able to turn the electricity on, being able to have internet access, being able to have water hookup and sewer and trash. Those are all things associated with fixed costs. You have to pay those even if you produce absolutely nothing. Okay? When we started the airplane activity yesterday, before you produce anything, what do you have to pay? You had to pay for your building, you had to pay rent. And what else did you have to pay for?
Materials.
Your materials, right? You had to go and pay for your paper. Okay? You had to pay those things even before you produced anything. Okay? So fixed costs are going to incur even if the output is 0. So for example, all of those utilities, okay, I have gas, electric, water, all of those things are fixed costs. Okay? It doesn't matter how much you produce. Does your rent change just because that you made more airplanes? No. Okay? So your fixed costs stay the same. Another example, like I said, is rent, just the space itself. It's an empty space, okay, but the space itself you have to pay for.
What have you expanded?
Expansion is in the long run, not the short run. This is talking about short run, but good question, okay? Remember, this is a good reminder, this is short run. The opposite of fixed costs are going to be variable costs. These are costs that change due to the output changing. Because you were able to make more airplanes, you had to pay for something more. What was the only reason you were able to make more airplanes? What changed? Labor. Okay? So the only thing that is going to be associated with variable costs, and I want you to add it in there, is this is going to be paying your workers. How much you pay your workers. Okay? Variable cost is going to be the only thing that varies in the short run. The only thing we can change is labor. Everything else is a fixed cost. Okay, so workers are the only thing that changes in the short run. Now, in the long run, remember we said, what can you change in the long run?
Everything.
Everything. So in the long run, do we have fixed costs? No, we don't have fixed costs in the long run. Okay, because everything varies, everything changes. All right. Now, if we want to talk about putting those two together, we can talk about obviously total costs, fixed and variable costs together, adding them together. So that's really easy. And then last but not least, we also have to talk about marginal costs. Now, remember yesterday we talked about marginal product, and I told you marginal, anytime you see marginal in economics, what does marginal mean?
The satisfaction.
Nope, that's utility. We said marginal utility is additional satisfaction. So what would be the marginal part? If utility is satisfaction, what's the additional? Marginal would be additional part, right? So when we talk about costs, we talk about marginal costs, we're talking about the additional costs of producing one more item. Extra cost of producing one more item. So in this case, I said extra. Extra, additional, same thing, okay? So the extra cost of one more item. So how much did it cost me to produce one more paper airplane? So these are our 4 costs. Guess what? We're adding 4 columns to your production schedule. Want to guess what the titles are? Ah. Okay? They're all associated. So I'm giving you the definitions of what they mean in your notes, but then we're adding them in your problem so you understand what the heck they mean. Okay? So go back to your production schedule, please.